Good morning. And, it is afternoon and evening for some people online. So, welcome to Eating Chi workshop. This is quite a rare teaching. I do it for the first time. And I haven't heard anyone doing it actually after the teacher training, after Jens has taught this technique. So we'll have some fun today. And before we start, let's do something, because everyone who is present is not beginner, and we all know about the Chi field and how it works. So let's connect, let's unify our Chi field, and I will say the names of everyone so we can do that better. Some of you may know each other, but if there is a new name, especially people online, you can still connect, because I know the people. So connect with the name, and actually through myself you can connect with this person as well. It's strange, but it works that way. I have experienced this quite often. So we have here in present Leona. She's from Upper Hutt, wasn't it? Yes. And Karen, also from Upper Hutt. Gerald, Wellington. Till, originally from Germany, but he's in New Zealand now, and we are happy to have him here. And Rosie, who is also from Auckland, but it happens that she's here today as well. And Elliot, who is also from Wellington. And I think somebody else should come here. Maybe she's late, but let's see who is online. Actually, some people are online, and some people, few people cannot attend, so they will watch the recordings. So it's kind of a mixture, but the Chi field is still there. So we have Steph. She's in Richmond, Canada. Mary Claire. She's in Upper Hutt but cannot attend in person. Carol. She's in California in the United States. Miriam. She's in Cromwell, New Zealand. Chandana, Australia. Mary in Peru. Dory in I think was Greta Valley in South Island, New Zealand. Claudia, she's in Mexico. Mark, he's in Florida. Magali in Connecticut, United States. Rainer, he's usually in New Zealand, but now I understand he's in France. And Susie, most of you know Susie, she's in Dunedin, I think, at the moment. So let's spend 1 minute and visualize all these people are here in spirit, and the Chi field is very bright, there is abundance of chi, very pure. We'll be eating this chi, and it is also, this chi contains special information, qualities we can use to improve life. Just sit at the back. Thanks. So put all your best intentions in this chi field. Visualize chi is coming from all directions and chi is gathering. And your body is transparent. It is part of this chi field. Chi is penetrating deep inside. And you feel very relaxed, calm, joyful, free, and happy. And visualize that there is abundance of chi above us. It's like a huge bowl of pure bright chi, and chi is flowing constantly down, nourishing our chi field. And we are all immersed in this pure and bright chi. We feel cozy, comfortable. Try to stay in this state. Remember, you are in this chi field, so keep this thought somewhere at the background and open your eyes slowly. And so we have Minda joining us, so put her in the chi field as well. This is, okay. So everyone has handouts here. I will check the messages online just to see if everything's fine. Yeah. So let's get started. I would like to make a note in the beginning. We have 19 people altogether with people online, and everyone's level is different, so nobody's absolute beginner, but you may know or you may not know some of the details, so I may repeat some of the things. What I'm saying, it may sound like repetition because you might know this already, but this could be a new thing for somebody else. So if that's the case, use the time as a practice and just go deeper and deeper, and also you can more advanced people can strengthen the chi field with your thoughts. So where to start? We are talking about eating chi, which is nothing, I would say nothing usual or something unusual. Most of the people don't know what chi is, so it's not food, but actually it's nutritious. And everyone here knows what chi is, but let's talk about this phenomenon. When we eat chi, do we still need food? We need to have clear understanding about that, so we would know how to apply this technique and what is the place of what we are going to learn today, what is its place in life. So maybe some of you know the term Bigu. This is 4 letters, B-I-G-U. And this is a Chinese term that may have many meanings, and it is associated with fasting. So in general, one of the translations could mean avoid grains. So this is more literal translation. Or not to eat grains. And it could be understood literally, or you can understand it as don't eat the 5 grains, which means don't eat food as well. And grains are, in any culture, they are very important part of almost everyone's diet. But there is also a Chinese saying that grains, they are nutritious, but they also contain evil spirits. So when we eat them, we also bring these evil spirits inside. And along with our soul, so some of you know the terms Po and Hum. This is the ethereal and corporeal soul. They are good, they are part of us, but also these evil spirits, they are not good. So there is a belief that if one is doing fasting, one can get rid of the effects of the evil spirits who are not good for life. So you know that in every culture fasting is a good thing, or is seen as a good thing, and can contribute to life if it's done properly. And there are many ways to do fasting. You can eat specific foods or avoid specific foods or not eat at all for 1 day or 3 days or 7 days or any amount of time. But you can also avoid not only food but also drinks. So not eating and not drinking, so this is quite extreme. Can I ask, has anyone here done 1 day fasting, not eating? Hands up. Has anyone done 3 days? Okay. More than 3 days? Okay. So you know what happens when you don't eat a few days? Your energy goes down. And this is normal because we receive qi when we eat. This is one of the main sources of receiving qi. And some people may not eat, but they may drink juices, because apple juice, for instance, can bring lots of energy, or something else. So this is one way to avoid very low energy and at the same time cleanse the body. Another way is to practice Qigong, because doing Qigong can bring Qi to the body. And I think everyone here knows practices that bring Qi. For instance, Tian Yuan from Yuan Gong is designed to bring Qi to the body. Lift Qi up, pour Qi down, those of you who know Jinan Qigong. Even pulling Qi can bring Qi to the body and actually help with the energy levels. And the practice that you are about to learn today is considered even more efficient, more effective, I would say, because the Qi that you can obtain through this practice is more on the level of the pure organ Qi. So the effect could be much stronger if you are doing the practice well, if you have mastered the practice. So something to mention as well as a phenomenon. Can we survive without eating at all? What do you think?
Does it depend on the level of development of the person and also the amount of time? We can survive. Some people survive.
Yeah, it's very something that is observed as a phenomenon, but there is not much understanding, especially in our Western culture. Actually, people can live without eating and even without drinking. I will say a few words about this phenomenon. I'm not promoting you to try that, but we need just to have understanding, more to know a little bit more about what this area that we are, I would say, entering. So this is not something completely impossible. Actually, many people can survive without eating and drinking, and not just few days, but actually years. And some people at some stage they stop eating and drinking at all. So there are not many of them, but it's possible. And even I remember 1 or 2 years ago there was footage on one of the main televisions showing a person in India under medical observations who didn't eat 1 week. He was in a room 24 hours observed by doctors, and the person was I think he was following some of the Indian teachings that are quite similar to Chinese teachings, and he was looking very healthy. He was maybe in his 60s or 70s, and he was doing some sitting practice from most of the time, but not completely, cut out from the external. He was just acting as any normal person, and all the doctors were amazed because he didn't take in anything, and he didn't nothing came out of his body as well, which cannot be explained from the perspective of Western medical science. This is impossible, but it has been observed, and there are many other cases. For instance, people, even teenagers, who suddenly stop eating, but they keep growing, and they were quite healthy. And I remember about a girl in China. She was 13 when she stopped eating, and she didn't eat for 10 years, and she became a completely normal woman after that. And even she was competing in some of the school competitions, something I don't remember exactly, and she won few of them. So food is not necessarily the only way to maintain life. So it's interesting how these people get to this stage not to eat. For some of them it happened spontaneously. So this is one way. You suddenly don't feel eating, and you keep going, and nothing bad happens. There is another way. It is said that actually teachers or masters can initiate this process by opening fully our channels and chi gates. And this way our connection with the external can suddenly strengthen to many times, and we start receiving much bigger amounts of chi that can actually sustain life. So this is another way, and there are people who do that around the world. And there is another way to achieve this through Qigong practice. So once again, what I'm saying here, this is I'm describing the phenomenon, but the teaching that we follow in Ren Xue, this is not seen as a goal, because if you don't eat, it doesn't mean that your life has changed substantially. And also, for some people this might not be possible at all. So don't create for yourself a goal that might not be achievable, and it may not contribute to life. Yuanzi was saying that he knows many people who don't eat, but some of them were his patients, so they still can get sick So it doesn't mean that if you don't eat, you are on a very high level. You can eat and be on a higher level if, so this is not a criteria. Although it might be a good thing for the future of the humanity, because we won't need to kill animals, and also even eating plants. We still take life when we eat plants, because they have, my understanding is that even plants, they have consciousness, some kind of consciousness also. It's very different from the human and animal consciousness. So this is kind of an introduction to this phenomenon. Let's see why am I teaching and why you are learning this technique, because it's not a goal, but it has benefits. So what are the benefits? It is a source of very pure chi, very pure, and also different quality of chi. The quality is different from the chi that we can gather when we do let's say pulling chi or lift chi up or Tian Yuan. It's we can say it's more processed chi, and it's good for us. The practice of this eating chi technique can also help to open certain gates, and especially Adam's apple gate and some other gates in the body. And this is important, especially when our practice starts going to a higher level. The consumption of chi may increase, because we may start developing what we call special abilities, and these abilities require more amount of chi. And not only that, my experience is also that following Ren Shui at certain stage, you may see a need to change some of your patterns of the consciousness. And if there is no chi, not sufficient chi, you can't really do much. You know, the pattern is there, and you try to fight it, to change it, to transform it, but you need chi in order this to happen. So having more chi, and especially a good quality of chi, is always beneficial. It can help in this process. Another thing that we can mention is that practicing this technique can improve the transformation in the body. You know, that's one of the main transformations that happen in human body from TCM, traditional Chinese medicine perspective, is transformation between chi, blood, and bodily fluids. So I will say a few words about the mechanism of this practice, and you will see that actually it involves quite a lot of transformation, and this is a good training to improve the functions of the whole body. And lastly, we may mention that also it's a good way to boost your energy levels when you need energy, when you are hungry and there is nothing to eat. You can use this technique. In our modern society, food is abundant, So this is not a problem, but we may still need chi boost sometimes. So maybe I will start telling you how we do eating chi. So we'll have also time to not only to learn but do some practice. And I will teach today two techniques that are put together by Yuan Zi. The first one is eating chi, and the second part is rubbing chi. And rubbing chi is not the rubbing chi you know from Jin and Qigong. It's a little bit more complicated, and it is designed to complement the eating chi, because if you do only eating chi, there could be some you need to do something, you can do something more to help the assimilation of chi after that. And before I start, just another note. There are many eating chi techniques. Some of them are more simple, some of them are more complicated, and there are different variations of what I will be teaching. And for instance, in martial arts there could be different ways of doing that. This one is not an easy one, but it has its advantages compared to the simpler ones. And maybe some of you have tried the simpler ones from the Voyage to the Shore. There are a few techniques there. I will mention them at the end. And in general, we can say that eating chi is we can say it's eating air, if you wish, but not the physical contents of the air, not the oxygen and carbon dioxide and what's there, nitrogen, whatever, but we eat the chi content of the air. So let's see. First, we need to know some chi points or chi gates, and some of you know them. Tan Zhong is one of them, in the middle of the chest. So I will briefly remind you how to find it. You can put your hand under the armpit and relax your arms and find the roots of the little finger, and from there you go to the center of the chest, and on the sternum. So for men, this is exactly between the nipples, this point. So this is Tan Zhong. Another point we need is Zhongguan. So this is some of you know about Hunyang Chao. This is the Dantian of the pure organ chi. So let's see where is Zhongguan. The navel, you start from the navel, and Zhongguan is on the midline above the navel, 4 thumbs. This is 1 Cun, 1 Chinese measurement units. So you need to have your body upright, and you can measure 4 of those Cun, and you will find Zhongguan. So it's a little bit below the solar plexus. That's my understanding. and below the sternum, obviously. So you don't have to know the precise location, but this is where it is. And the special thing about this point is that inside, in the center of the body, there is a chi gathering, and this is one of the most pure chi gatherings in the body. This is the pure chi of the organs. How to say? All the organs communicate with each other through this dantian. Duchi, this is the navel. Minmen, so you go from the navel to the spine at the back. This is also a major chi gate. And lower dantian, I think everyone knows lower dantian, so it's in the abdominal area. So these are the chi gates that we'll be using. The next thing is the sounds. So people online, just to let you know what is on the whiteboard, is in your handouts. These are the, 7 sounds. So not to wonder what's written there, you have it in your handouts. So let's see the sounds, and as everything coming from the Chinese culture, there is a symbolism behind the sounds, and they mean something in Mandarin. So the first one is H, and means drinking. Second one means child. Sh, food eating. Wu means my, and Mu, mother. So I may not pronounce them correctly, but this is roughly how we say them and what is the meaning. So you will see that the actual sounds sound very different from what's here. So don't worry if you don't have the right pronunciation from me. You will see how we'll be using them. It's in a very different way. But they have some meaning because they represent what we are doing. So child is drinking food from his or her mother. So when especially the baby is in the womb, it receives everything from the mother. We are adults, so we cannot rely on food from our mothers, but actually we have different mother. We have the universe. The universe is our mother. So this is the meaning behind that. Actually we can obtain food from the bigger mother. And there are 2 more sounds, yuan and yen, the last 2 sounds. And I know that the first one has lots of meanings, second one probably also has meanings, but we were not told during the teaching about the exact meaning, and so don't pay attention to the meaning here. So this is, just symbolic thing. So So we do the sounds to help open the chi gates, open the chi passages. And let's see how we do the sounds, and then I will show you, I will do a short demonstration of the practice. So the first sound H, it's a little bit like what cats do when they are not happy. So how many of you have cats? Well, everyone has seen what cats do. So here is how the sound sounds like. Have you seen? So that's the sound. So you see that you don't need the Chinese pronunciation. For this one, just copy the cats. Copy the cats. And we'll see why we do that. So the second one is actually they go together. The second one continues from the first one. So I will do it, you get the idea. So it could be very loud, and we do it in a loud way. So it's not like some other techniques where we tend to do the sounds quieter and quieter and they become more shun sounds. Here the sounds help, and in a moment I will explain how everything works together. Then we have sh, sho, mu, and they go together, those three, and they happen very quickly. Actually, you may not hear them. It's like shum, and you may not hear anything from outside, but it's good to do the sound. So I will do the whole thing, and yeah, I'll do the first part, so you will see how it works. So this is one cycle of eating chi. So the first two sounds, you take chi in. The third, fourth, and the fifth help you bring this chi to Minmen, the point at the back. And then maybe you have heard something, maybe not. There was kind of a briefing after that, and I used the last two sounds, yuan and yen. So let's see how we do yuan and yen, and then we'll go again through everything once again. So yuan we do when we breathe out, And it's not just one yuan, it's many times you repeat, and this helps you to breathe gradually, so not in a quick way, but kind of a gradual way. So I will do it loudly, although we don't do it loudly. This one is quite quiet. So the loud version is so it's like, so allows the air to go slower, and it will be even quieter. It's more what your mouth is doing. And you do the last one, yen, when you breathe in. So it's like, I can't do it loudly actually, maybe it's not possible. We'll do it closer to the camera. So it's like, so this is one cycle of the sounds. And the sounds come with some movement, because what happens is, actually let's learn one short exercise. Some of you know upward crane head. This is it is used in the second Jin and Qigong method, body mind form. So let's stand up actually and do it. I was wondering, maybe you can stand here and see if you can go a little bit, yeah, so the camera can be free. So the whole practice starts with arms on the lower ribs, on the last floating ribs, but I suggest we don't go straight away that way. It's not the Qigong way. Let's do it in a different way. Connect your palms in front of the body and raise them into He hands. And then separate the base of the palms along the ribs. Go to the sides, and from the little finger rotate the wrists and place the thumb and index finger on the last floating ribs, at the front and at the back. So this is how we get into this posture, a good way to get into this posture. You can use other ways if you know. And then we do upward crane head. So how we do that? We bring the chin in, so the neck becomes straight, and we draw a circle with the chin. First down, then forward, then up, and when we get to the back, we kind of tilt the head, so we lift from Bai Hui and the chin goes in, so we complete the circle. Have a look first. I will do it sideways, and pay attention to the last sector of the circle. So you need to do a circle, not to break it. Have a look. I will do it closer to the camera. So we bring the head as much as possible to the back, and then we bring the chin in to complete the circle, and we go for the next one. Any questions on this movement? The crane head?
The teeth, the relaxing of the jaw, spinning around the jaw and the mouth.
Just ignore this when doing, because we'll be doing the sounds. So it works in a different way from what we do in body mind. Something to mention: in body mind form, we use it to move the chi in the two channels, Dumai and Renmai. This is one of the main purposes of this practice. Actually, it goes against the flow and it can strengthen the flow. Here, the purpose is slightly different. We focus more inside on the inner passageways. So I will explain how chi will be moving, how we'll be gathering chi. So the focus here is more inside. Inside the hollow spaces in the body, the mouth and esophagus. So it's not exactly the same way we do it in body-mind form. So let's see how we do it with the first two sounds. So the moment, actually this movement helps also to start secreting some saliva. If you bring your chin in, you can do that to extreme, and especially if you think saliva, you may feel that actually it's secreting. Can anyone feel that? Yeah, some of you. So that's good, because we need saliva. Saliva will absorb chi, and this is one of the processes that happen. So let's do the first two sounds, and then I will explain a little bit more. So the first two sounds end when the head is 45 degrees, when the head is at this position. So when you get there, you should be already finishing the first two sounds. I will do just the first two sounds. Have a look, and you can try after that. So the second one is R, it's more going deeper, and you can think your tongue, actually your tongue when you start the H is more to the front, and when you go to R, it curves backward. And also the mouth is closing. Initially the mouth is wide open, so you can gather lots of chi with this, and this chi goes straight into the saliva, and then you bring it more toward the top and the end of the mouth.
You touch that.
You're not focusing on touching, but you are curling the the tongue backwards. So let's do this few times. You can follow me, or you can focus on yourself. Carry on.
So with the breath, the breathing, are you making that sound on an out or an in breath?
Good question. Thank you, Karen. It's the breathing. So we breathe in when we do the first two sounds. And when we finish with the two sounds, actually we have taken all the air we need and all the chi we need as well. So after that, we don't breathe, we don't inhale anymore. So this is the end of the inhalation. Let me tell you about the last, the third, fourth, and the fifth sound. It's like you see how there is such kind of a movement. You take chi in with wide open mouth, and this chi goes more to the upper part of the mouth, and with sound, and you can, if you remember that, you can also curl the tongue a little bit, goes to the top and the back top corner of the mouth, and actually there will be saliva when you do that. If you have saliva, that's very good. And then you swallow, and while swallowing you do the three sounds. So they could be quite quick. Shum, shumo, shum. And if you do it properly, you are aiming minman, and visualizing that this chi that you have taken goes straight to minman. So it could be almost, you can't necessarily hear anything from outside, but you still do the sound, and your mouth could be even closed when you do that. It's more what's happening inside. So swallowing is important part. You swallow and you do the sounds. So let's do the whole thing again. You can start at any time. Very good. Try to open the mouth, because this is how we, and also think you are connecting with the chi. So you are not just making sound, but you are.
It's hard to get used to making the sound when you're inhaling, because you're used to sort of stop, like always stopping to breathe, and you go. There's a
Yes. Have a look. This may help. It helped me when I was observing how Yenzo was demonstrating. You may observe what happens with the shoulders. So I'm not doing it intentionally, but that's what's happening when you send chi down. So have a look. When you do the three sounds, it's like shum, like sending something right to the bottom. And it may help actually if you think you are drawing chi from Mingmen, not sending it there, but actually you are connecting with when the chi and saliva is there. You pull it, suck it, and it goes to Mingmen. So let's do 2 or 3 more times this, and then we'll sit and have some rest. And this time think also of chi as well, so you have something to send to Mingmen, not just doing the sounds, but there is some content as well. And start when ready. And now let's add the last 2 sounds. So let's see how it happens when we breathe in and we do the shumu, shum. We send it to Mingmen. We don't breathe out. We keep our breath. And we keep our focus on Mingmen. And actually you, while doing that, you pull Mingmen backwards 3 times. So I'll do it in front of the camera. So it's like that. So it could be physical pulling Mingmen backwards. With so your knees are soft and you are pulling Mingmen physically backwards 3 times, and you hold your breath. And when you finish, you relax and to do and breathe out. And then you do breathe in, breathe out, breathe in and out. So we breathe out 4 times and breathe in 3 times. So let's do the whole thing, and I will be guiding you, so try to follow as much as you can, because could be difficult, but you know, when many people try to breathe in the same way, but do your best. So
Something.
yes.
So when you first start the yuan sound, that's the exhalation of the inhalation, the first exhalation.
Yes, when we do the first yuan sound, we, for the first time, exhale after we have taken qi in. So I will be talking and you try to follow. So prepare to start doing the first sounds. Prepare to start doing the crane head. And take qi in, do do shou mu. Keep your breath in and pull Minmen backwards. 1, 2, 3, and then do yuan 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 and breathe out. Yen 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 yen, breathe in. Yuan 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 yuan, breathe out. Yen yen yen, breathe in. Yuan yuan out. Yen yen in. And last time, yuan 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 out. Very good. This is one cycle. Let me check if there are any questions online. So people online, feel free to type your questions at any time. How many times we do the first sound and the second one? So this is one serving, and in each serving we do the first 5 sounds just once. But yuan we do 4 times and yen 3 times. So we start with yuan and we finish with yuan. So yuan is 4 times and yen, the last one, is just 3 times to connect the yuan. So please sit and actually, would anyone like a short break? 5 minutes? Okay, let's do a short break. So 5 minutes, and people online, I will disconnect and connect again to break the session into 2 recordings. So 5 minutes, and we'll be online in a short time. Thank you.